Hello, hello. Welcome to the 40th episode of the Veggies Abroad Vegan Travel Podcast with the chief veggie pusher, myself, Rebecca Gady-Swicky. Some of you may already be familiar with Veggies Abroad, but for those of you who aren't, we're a full-service vegan travel company that offers custom planning services, small group trips, a helpful blog chock full of just about everything a vegan or veg-curious traveler could possibly need, and this podcast. With this podcast, I aim to amplify the voices of businesses championing vegan and vegan-friendly options, responsible tourism practices, the environment, community impact, all things that we need more of and must actively support. So 40 episodes, that's really something. And surprisingly, it went quick. And also surprisingly, I didn't realize until I was writing this intro that we were at 40 already. I think there is no better way to celebrate this milestone than with a chat with two super fabulous entrepreneurs. After recording this episode, I really wanted to, one, book a ticket to Oaxaca, but more importantly, felt really inspired to keep on putting in the work and find ways to support incredible people like Ewan and Victoria. I promise, after listening to this episode, you will have a hard time not heading to Google and wanting to look at plane tickets. With that, it's a good time to remind you that if you're planning a trip and need help or just don't want to do it yourself, I mean, it is a ton of work, right? Feel free to reach out. In addition to running group trips, this podcast, and the blog, I am also a travel advisor. I've helped clients put together amazing family adventures, honeymoons, and so much more around the globe. But let's get back to you and Victoria and the gorgeous Casa Mauna. The Mexican-German couple uprooted their life in Mexico City to start Casa Mauna in the remote and tranquil Alchie Beach in Oaxaca, Mexico. In addition to being one of the first vegan hotels in Latin America, they are also committed to supporting the local community through fair employment practices and promoting sustainable tourism. We will get to all of that and so much more. So let's go chat with Ewan and Victoria. Ewan and Victoria, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to chatting about your gorgeous property, especially as I look out my window and it is sad, gray, and it's raining again. I feel like we're getting more rain than Ireland gets, and that's not okay for springtime in Detroit.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you for your interest in this project. We're very happy to be here and to be able to share about this.
Yes, absolutely. So let's jump right in. What in the world inspired you to open a vegan hotel, and why did you choose Oaxaca?
Oh, well, yeah, that's an interesting question. Well, we've been vegan for a while. Okay. And, well, you know, it's not just the diet part, it's also a way of life. And from the way we eat to how we live, our choices are deeply rooted in ethics and compassion. So when it came to creating a livelihood for ourselves, it only made sense to align with our values. Plus, we spent a lot of time traveling as a couple, and we're kind of on the hunt for beautiful vegan places. So we took inspiration from all those experiences, and we thought about creating our dream place, like what we would like to encounter in those trips. So that helped shaping Mauna a lot.
And how long have you both been vegan?
Well, I've been vegan for 21 years.
Oh my gosh, wow. You're part of the OG vegan squad.
Well, and thank you. And Ewan, it's been here for about, how long?
How long are we married? How long are we together?
7 years.
Exactly.
7 years, yes.
I am guessing, Victoria, you influenced him.
She says no. She says that she didn't influence me, and that it was all my choice. But it was positively nudged into the right directions by asking simple questions as to what my yogurt is. I need to eat my yogurt because that's healthy.
Excellent.
But the decision was his, of course.
Of course. quote unquote.
At the end of the day, she was a very good influence and inspiration.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
I'm very happy about that.
So why did you guys choose Oaxaca as a location?
Well, I would say that we owe it to a friend who invited us to visit. The land was available for a really good price back then. And the moment we set a foot there, it was kind of love at first sight when we saw the beautiful beaches, that it was not a touristy place, but more like in synchrony with nature. We decided to stay. We actually thought we could live here, and why not also bringing this idea that we have here. It's paradise, and we consider ourselves very fortunate to be able to live and work here.
We just have to add here that we said for 6 months no. Like our friend was telling us, no, that terrain is amazing, you have to see it and so on. And then after 6 months, she said, oh, someone else is going to buy it. And then we were like, well, let's give it a shot.
Oh, so my gosh.
Realistically, we came down here. We didn't know the area all that much, but we saw the beach. And after sitting like 14 hours in the car from Mexico City via back then, even worse highways than we have today. We arrived and it was just love at first sight. So we just fell in love with it, and it took just like 2 weeks or something, and we had the title in our hand, and we were like, wow, this is actually happening.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, especially since you sat on it for so long. Where were you guys coming from before if you weren't living in the area?
Mexico City.
Okay. Oh, so you were living there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we were in Mexico, but in the big city, and we always looked for something closer to nature. And after, exactly as Ewan said, after 6 months of really not considering it a real option, when we were there, we were like, whoa, this is it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think we've left out a really big part of your journey here. You opened in the heat of the pandemic in October of 2020, which I cannot believe. When Ewan shot me that note yesterday, I thought, he's got to be kidding me. Really? So I guess walk me through, how in the world did you guys survive that? What was the experience like? How did you adapt? I can't believe it. Amazing that you survived. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We basically couldn't believe it ourselves, because we were starting our construction in November of 2020, of 2019. So just like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after China went into lockdown. And then when it's like it all started, we were like, and then everyone said tourism is never going to be the same, and we will not be coming back to tourism levels and so on. We were like, well, it's like we already paid, it's like, I don't know, at the time, at 40% of the project or something just to kick it off.
Oh my gosh.
So we were stuck with it, and we were like, it's like, probably won't be back anytime soon, so let's hang on. And we were basically bankrupt, almost bankrupt, and we had zeros in our accounts in October of 2020, and we were like, we got to start. There's like, we put everything on this one card, and then we had buffers, but then prices, of course, at every construction, any budget one receives ends up being way higher than what it is. So we had lots of, we had buffers, but the buffers were all used up. And then we're like, okay, we're just going to open. And then we published our first room on Airbnb, because we didn't have our own website. We were not booking on Expedia and so on. They were at the time saying, no, we are not accepting new properties, because we're just taking care of our current customer base. So it was like, okay, Airbnb is what it is. And lucky, within, 24 hours or 48 hours, we had our first reservations. And for like the next weekend, so it was like Wednesday, and then for Friday we had already a check, and we were like, okay, people actually accept the concept, so that's fun. But then it was still without the restaurant. And a month or 1.5 months later, we decided, okay, we gotta continue putting everything on this one card. And we started looking for a chef, and we were basically going here in Mexico, it's very common to pay on the 15th and on the 30th twice a month. And we were like on the 13th or something able to pay the salary for on the 15th. And then we hung on for the first 2 or 3 months, and then slowly it's like, I think we really Like we managed to come out of it, but it just continued until maybe the post-COVID boom started, which was end of 2021, beginning of 2022.
That's a long time.
And then we were like, yeah. But then people started to go out more. They started to travel more. And we were fully in the trend because nobody wanted to be in big cities. Everyone wanted to be far away. So we had everything, like our restaurant is outdoors. So there's nothing is closed in. The only spaces which are closed in is your own suite. So you are not sharing any spaces with anyone else. And we were fully in the trend. So that's where we're like, okay. And then slowly over time, we started to establish better on the market. And yeah, we're now happy that we made it through that time. And looking back at it, it was actually like COVID was actually for us a good time because of the travel boom for remote locations with with very serene beaches with very few people. So like Alchie Beach, where we are located on, is the perfect example of that. You'll see on New Year's in the peak, you'll see maybe 20, 25 people on the beach.
Oh, wow.
And on the rest of the year, you can be the only one. And it's just a very beautiful feeling, especially if you want to relax.
Yeah, amazing. So there had to have been points during that like 2020 to 2021, even 2022 time period that you guys thought maybe you wouldn't make it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a plot twist that we didn't see coming, the pandemic. But fortunately enough, Mexico kept relatively relaxed policies or restrictions when it came to people traveling. And big hotels, as you mentioned, were not open, but small remote places were allowed to still operate. And our facilities are quite big and spacious, and they are open air. So that was very fortunate. And we just received kind of like a wave of digital nomads and remote workers, or people that kept their jobs, but they needed to work at home, and they were like, okay, I can stay here or I can travel. So they did that, and we were there to receive them. So that helped us a lot. That was very fortunate.
Oh my gosh, I bet. Was your initial client base mostly based in Mexico, or did you get international clients?
I would say both. But I think that Ewan can answer to that question better than me.
We had a mixed base, definitely. Like it was a very common occurrence for us back then to organize all the PCR tests and so on.
I forgot about those. Oh my gosh!
Oh no, who likes to remember those?
Right, exactly. Oh my gosh.
It was just a fun time because, of course, you're a hotel, so you're very service orientated, and then you organize, of course, very like the PCR test is a very big part of you being able to travel back home. So when you have then a lab appointment for 3 p.m. and then where it is where it's not uncommon for maybe 15 minutes later or half an hour later for people to arrive here. Translating that towards international clientele was always a bit fun. It's like, oh, don't worry, they'll come. They confirmed to me. It's like, they will maybe show up half an hour later or something. But then, of course, us knowing that with knowledge of the area of how things are being done here was always a very fun time. But it worked out in the end. We didn't have one single client which ended up testing positive or having to lose their flight or anything.
Amazing! Wow! Congratulations for that. That's insane. I feel like we can kind of like laugh about some of that now, but when you were in the heat of it, none of it was fun, none of it was funny, and it never felt like it was going to end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So now today, it's a completely different story. Let's walk through what someone might expect when they come to the hotel. What's kind of an experience like from check-in to check-out?
Well, I would describe it as this. You arrive and suddenly you have like your little small apartment by the ocean. We like people to feel better than home, and that's what like the intention that we have is for people to be able to just, there's a hammock waiting on the private terrace of each of the rooms. You perhaps read a little bit, you scroll a little bit, you just, you can even write something profound. Like I would describe it as a place of connection, not only to yourself, but only with nature. Then you can just go downstairs and then you go to the vegan restaurant. You can have a cocktail or a mocktail. You can have a vegan meal with a beautiful view. It's basically a place to relax, to disconnect from your routine or from the big cities and the noises. You enjoy nature. You can even do some bird watching or bird spotting in whale and dolphin season. You can also do that. And it's basically a place for relaxation, to enjoy calm and natural beauty. And that's what we really love about the place.
It sounds lovely. One thing I didn't ask about from the start is Oaxaca is a very large area. Where exactly are you guys in the area?
We're located on the coast, in between Pochutla, which is a very unknown small town, and Huatulco. Huatulco is a very big, especially for Canadians, a very big travel destination. We have an international airport 25 minutes from us with, I think in high season, several times a week flights, especially to Canada, but also to Dallas and to Tijuana. So Southern California is also very easily connected. And yeah, we are known here, or the beaches here are known for their remoteness, for very few people to ever be seen on them, and for you to really relax. So just as my wife just said, our focus is relaxation. That was what were always looking for when we were traveling. We're always looking like we don't want to be like in the like there are times for it, but in the heart of the city, it's not really our thing. So we're looking for something more tranquil, more calm, more relaxed. And this is the experience that we wanted to offer. And that's exactly what the beaches are here. It's just very beautiful remote beaches, not overly constructed, not you basically don't share it with anyone else. And it's just for you to relax and to calm, and at Mauna to hear the ocean, hear the waves crashing, and that's what Mauna can do.
And you do offer a couple activities on site, right? Some massages that you can organize. Are there other things as well?
Yoga classes. We can also offer yoga classes in the terraces. You have a view of the bay and the ocean. So, like a nice yoga class with that environment and being able to hear the ocean while you are in your asanas. That's also something that people like a lot.
Yeah, that sounds great. Is the massage also held out there as well, too?
Yes, that's possible. Many people request it that way, but for other people, it's more comfortable to have it inside of the suite. We have AC there, of course, so it's a little bit cooler, fresher.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. During your very humid seasons, which really might be year round, might be a good idea.
It's summer all year long.
Summer all year. But winter is especially nice here. There's one additional experience that we like to offer, and that is very frequently booked, is our romantic dinner, where we are decorating the whole suite with small candlelights, electric candlelights, so to the risk down.
Yeah, no open flames.
Exactly. And red roses all distributed with a nice heart shape on the bed. And then you can have a nice 3-course romantic dinner on the privacy of your suite with a nice bottle of wine while watching the sunset. That's very frequently booked because it's just a very beautiful romantic experience. And how many places are there? Maybe like at least in Mexico, maybe even in the Americas or even worldwide, where you can really relax a vegan romantic dinner while watching the sunset on the coast. I don't think that there are all that many.
Yeah, there are not a ton. You guys definitely fit a very special niche. You've alluded to food a little bit, and we have yet to get really into it. Talk about your restaurant. What does the menu look like? I saw some pictures of some enchiladas, and I really need to try them.
Yes, of course. Well, I like to describe the menu as a passport. It takes you from India to Italy, many Asian dishes as well. And then, of course, when it comes to Mexico, our specialty is Oaxaca. The Oaxacan cuisine here, it's a big thing. I think it's even internationally recognized. And that's why we thought that we had to make the best out of the area and the richness that it offers, culinarily speaking. So we serve a variety of international plant-based dishes. But what really makes it special is the local flair. Many ingredients we use, like chepil, native herbs, pumpkin seeds, and traditional Zapotec masa, which is a very specific kind of preparation we do with Mexican corn. They have been a part of the cuisine since pre-Hispanic times. And we got also the people at the restaurant, our chefs, they were born in this area, so they know by heart the recipes that have been kind of passed like through generations, and put them in the vegan version available for all our guests. And we usually get like lots of compliments because of the Oaxacan part of the menu mainly. So it's a mixture of many dishes around the world, but Oaxaca is a big part of the heart of our cuisine.
Do you each have a favorite dish?
Oh, interesting. Well, I like many, and I think it depends on the mood. But when it comes to drinks, I really like our mango chamoyada, which is like a fresh mango smoothie with chamoy, which is like a tangy, like a sour, sweet, slightly spicy sauce. It's a very Mexican thing to have like those sour, slightly spicy sweets for children even. And I really like that one. And for this weather, it's fantastic. And when it comes to food, wow, there's this dish called entomatadas, which is like tacos soaked in a red tomato sauce with vegan cream. They are filled with potatoes and vegetables, and it has a little bit of salad on the top. And I think that's my breakfast. Like, I think I have that for breakfast like 3 times a week. I really like it.
Hey there, fantastic listeners. Let's hit pause on this episode for a thrilling announcement, a golden ticket to globetrot with Veggies Abroad. Veggies Abroad isn't just your go-to for vegan guides and trip planning tips. It's your passport to extraordinary small group journeys, carefully crafted by the ultimate veggie pusher and your favorite podcast host, me, Rebecca Gady-Sawicki. I've spent countless hours researching the best vegan hotels, food, and experiences, and now I'm bringing those experiences directly to you. Join me and my newfound veggie pals on escapades to exotic and exciting destinations around the world. Whether it's trekking through the Thai jungle to witness elephants in their natural habitat or exploring Iceland's famous ring road, our adventures are nothing short of spectacular. And guess what? Those aren't the only exciting trips awaiting you. So what are you waiting for? Cruise on over to veggiesabroad.com pronto. Well, how about after this episode is over to explore our dazzling lineup of tours and secure your spot today. Ewan, what's yours?
Like when it comes to breakfast, the molletes, it's a very traditional Mexican dish where it's a bread spread with bean paste, tomato and onion mix, and our vegan cheese, together with a nice spicy sauce. I have, like, when Victoria has hers maybe 3 times a week, I mine like 6 times a week or 4 times a week. When I'm not here, when I'm out, I'm just like that something is missing. This is not. It doesn't feel right to not have molletes for breakfast. So that's definitely the best one. And if one wants to have like a meat lovers experience, it's the fajitas. It's basically seitan. Nice thick strips of seitan with some vegetables fried together. Then you get your own tortillas to the side. You can make your own fresh tortillas at the moment, and that's very, very delicious. I enjoy that very much.
All of these sound really great. Since you guys are a little bit remote, do you have trouble sourcing some of the things like seitan or tofu or vegan cheese?
Not really. Not now. We had to figure it out at the beginning. But now they are online services that you can buy online and they get that to your doorstep. That has been very helpful. But also many of the fresh ingredients are produced here. We made our own seitan, for example.
Oh, wow.
Scratch.
Okay.
And we just need to get the seitan flour, the gluten flour, which is not that difficult to get nowadays online. The tofu it's exactly the same. No, we don't produce our own tofu yet. It's quite a complicated process, but we can get that through. It's called Mercado Libre, which is basically like the Argentinian Amazon, and that's something that's been very helpful for us.
Oh, that's amazing. I was also curious. Did you have trouble finding a chef that was knowledgeable about plant-based cuisine?
No, we were very fortunate on that one. I've had businesses related to food and restaurants before, so I had a little bit of knowledge in that area. I know how to cook a thing or two myself, and together with a magnificent chef that we found at the beginning of Mauna, we created the menu, and it was very fortunate to find her. She had a wide knowledge on vegan food. She had worked in restaurants in the UK. She had her own restaurant also at the moment that was serving mainly vegetarian food. So it all came together. It was, fortunately enough, not difficult to find her.
That's really incredible. It was kind of serendipitous then that all just happened that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like being at the right moment, at the right time. And out of all the people in Huatulco, there was an international vegetarian chef right there. So we kind of just found each other, and that worked out perfectly.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And have most of your guests been vegan?
Not at all.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. No, it was very funny in the beginning. When we received the first guests, we still didn't have vegan or plant-based or anything in our reviews. So people just arrived because of the pictures, and then we had usually we offered, when we were finally on Booking and Expedia and so on, we offered free breakfast, and then they were arriving, and what for us is now, of course, the beauty is like you have a vegan place on the ocean with ocean view and so on. For non-vegans, it can happen that they arrive and go, now we arrived at that one vegan place in all of Mexico. From all of Mexico, which has ocean view and is vegan. It's like we needed to arrive at this one spot where we cannot have now the fish that we want or the meat that we want.
It was meant to be.
Exactly, and then in the beginning we had, I remember very well, different phases of people being like, this is just like, of course, almost the same recipes as today, but they were just absolutely not liking it in the beginning. But some people were just completely refusing to have dinner when they arrived, and they went somewhere else for dinner. Some went into town and just because they were refusing, but then the breakfast was included. And then as the breakfast is included, they go like, I'm too lazy now. I'm hungry. I just woke up. I'm just going to take that breakfast. Like, how bad can it be? And then they liked the breakfast.
How bad can it be?
They enjoyed the breakfast. Gosh. And then it was very frequent that then they wouldn't leave anymore and they wouldn't go anywhere else to eat because the food was so delicious that it convinced them. So we had so many people which then also put in our reviews, it's vegan, but it's very delicious.
But. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty understandable because we do widely advertise,
Of course.
and already for a long time, that we're 100% plant-based and vegan. But it happens that some people just don't know. They just kind of book without getting through all the information, which is very common. And they arrive and they're like, okay, I'm here. Like, I would like to have some seafood because the beach is right there. And they arrive, they see that they cannot have their fish tacos, and they were like, oh wait, no bacon, and they're like, okay, yeah, but like try it.
But
Like,
at least make me some eggs for breakfast. I was like,
and they were
okay,
like, but at least you have eggs for breakfast, right? And we do have like vegan omelette and things like that. And once they try it, they are like, wait, what? This is vegan? And we're like, yeah, of course. And they're like, man, if vegan would be eating like this every day, I could totally be vegan. And we were like, it is like that, actually. You just needed like a proper introduction. And people like understand that vegan food can be delicious, nutritious. And most of the people that have arrived and complained at first, afterwards, they go with a way brighter impression of what veganism is. And they actually enjoyed it. Like exactly as you would say, well, even though it's vegan, we absolutely loved it. And it's like, yes, of course, because vegan is just food, right? It's food well prepared. It's going to be delicious. And it has the upside of being vegan, cruelty-free, environmentally friendly. So people understand that and they go very happy with that experience.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's amazing. I think that might be my favorite part of your entire story. That is fantastic. Like, good work to you guys. You're like slowly changing the population one guest at a time. You need to open another property and another property after that. You just slowly take over the world.
Oh, that sounds like a plan.
Excellent. I'll help you with the PR.
You're perfect.
Fantastic. Yes, please.
So in addition to making the hotel vegan, you also wanted to try and make it as sustainable as possible. What are some of the sustainability initiatives that you guys have enacted?
Well, besides keeping animal products, which already is a huge step in reducing water usage, carbon emissions, and whatnot, we've implemented eco-friendly systems throughout the hotel, mainly. They are called biodigestores in Spanish. Darling, could you help me out with the name in English for those?
It is a biodigester.
Biodigester.
Really? Just
Thank you so much. Yeah, biodigestor system, of course. Which replace traditional sewage. Instead of sending the water off into the void, it kind of digests the waste. It filtrates the water then through very specific systems. It's all natural, and then it goes back into the earth. Let's put it that way. I know it's a very simplified way of how they work, most likely, but it's one of the best ways to dealing with your wastewater in order to have a lower impact. And it also reduces the amount of water that one needs to use in order to dispose of all those like solids in the water. And well, then you can just release the clean water again into the ground. That, and I would say that everything that we use, from the materials inside of the suites to the products that we use for cleaning, are organic and biodegradable to have a lower impact in this regard as well.
And of course, vegan.
Yeah, that mainly, like not using animal products already lowers your impact environmentally wise tremendously.
Yes, absolutely. I'm curious, did you guys have a background in hospitality or anything along these lines before you started down this path?
We were just experienced travelers.
No way. I mean, that's really amazing to go from experienced travelers to biodigester experts and vegan chefs.
No, we actually neither. It was like Victoria had her at 2 restaurants before, so she knew about how to run a restaurant. But when it comes to how to deal with gas and so on, we had no idea. I'm an automotive engineer, so I had absolutely no clue besides being able to do numbers, and that was basically it. So I took over the communication side of things, which was also fun when it comes to learning a third language, when you then have to do the primary business communication back then without ChatGPT and so on. I was the whole time, hey, Victoria, how do I say this, or correct me on this, or something like that. But Victoria at the time was dealing very well with the restaurant, getting our service up to standard, because, well, you're capacitating staff towards where you want for the experience for everyone to be. You know? It's like not just the guest experience, not our experience, but also the staff experience, so that everyone has a good time. So you have to be like watching out for absolutely everything. But yeah, we had, besides the restaurant part, we had absolutely no clue. So looked up how do the systems work, how do property management systems work, best practices, and so on. And yeah, we just slowly grew into it. And we had the luck going back towards COVID, that I think we had, with the luck of people just wanting to go out of the city and just wanting to be away, I think we had a lot of patience by our guests, especially initially. But then then we professionalized very quickly.
Yeah, I would honestly never know that those things were happening in the background now. So congratulations for all of the hurdles you have made it through.
Yay!
And you're still here. So if guests don't want to just stay at the hotel, do you have like some suggested itineraries if they're coming for a few days or maybe a week?
Well, I would say that if it's like a short escape, like just a few days, I personally think that the best plan would be like no plan. And I've seen many people just relaxing on the terrace. They go for a cocktail or two. They read or write something inspiring. They just contemplate nature. They take a dip in the pool. They wander at the beach. And that's basically kind of what they do. You know, be in touch with nature, just relax and just forget about everything and rest. This we like to call this like a refuge of peace and relaxation, because it feels pretty much like that. But of course, for guests that stay longer than a few days, perhaps a week or more, there are plenty of areas around that they can explore, with lots of activities, from sports to other kind of nature activities such as waterfalls, surfing, turtles, Campamento Tortuguero. Like they release turtles in like these conservational projects. And I'm pretty sure that Ewan can tell you a lot of more about it.
Coffee plantation tours in the mountains. If you want to escape the heat, you can go like 1 hour up into the mountains, and then you have a beautiful view of like 30 miles of the coastline, beautiful sunset view, colder temperatures.
You also mentioned whale watching. Is that a certain time of the year?
Yeah, you can book tours in boat tours in nearby. It's like you have to drive for those, but we are always very happily organizing the taxi or transportation with our local taxi drivers. And you can do dolphin watching, whale watching, especially in winter. That's very big. And see the marina. What we're not, of course, not supporting any kind of way is when they're going for their fishing tours or anything. Then we go to like, hey, it's like, here's the number, but
I'm not doing it for you.
Want to go with the taxi driver, but we cannot. We don't even have any contacts, and we won't actively help in those regards.
Yes, that makes total sense. Is the hotel near like a small town? Anything like shops and things like that for people to check out?
The next bigger town is Huatulco, which would be around 40 minutes away. The village, which is nearby us, only has 100 registered people living. 100
people?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So it's
wow.
Very small. Salchi, as such, the where the hotel is located and where the beach has only, I think, 5 or 10 people registered to live there. Yeah. So it's
5 in addition to the two of you.
Yeah, but I don't know whether we legally count to the village or whether we legally count to Salchi.
Okay.
It's in the middle of the jungle, kind of.
Yeah, we are not living on the property. Okay. We're living like only
5 minutes away. It's 5 minutes away, but it feels like a different town, because in between us and the hotel, there's just green. And it's very beautiful. there are places around that you can go, like Huatulco, in case you need anything. But that's why having a restaurant, it was that important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And of course, in the hotel, we have stuff that could be useful, such as medicines or some other products that the people here would need. There's a small clinic in the area. There's a small town. It's not absolutely like desolated or anything like that, but it is in the middle of nature, which is of course part of the whole beauty about this place.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like renting a car is kind of important.
It's a possibility, yes.
When you want to stay for more than 3 or 4 nights. But if you want to really go out and be about a lot, absolutely take a rental car, because that will make it all way easier. As long as you are content with driving in Mexico and with having that experience, it's absolutely recommended. But if it's just 2 or 3 nights and you mainly want to stay at Mauna, don't go through the struggle. Come via taxi and just relax at Mauna. Go to the beaches around. Relax at the beaches. Just enjoy the area, and then, if your travel plans are that way, then maybe to Huatulco or to Mazunte where there are bigger areas where you can, enjoy the time there.
Yeah, but I would just add to that most of people do not rent a car. Actually, I would describe most of our guests as just staying and relaxing. Many of them don't really want to go out and leave. Many of them just arrive to kind of chill out and relax. But the ones that are interested in going to more places around, they do it either by a taxi or they rent a car.
Okay. I'm surprised. I would think more people would rent a car, but I guess if you truly just want to chill out, you really don't need to. You can walk to the beach, walk to the restaurant, and what else do you really need?
Exactly. If you're just looking for relaxation, that's all the recipe.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next for you guys? Are there any other exciting projects on the horizons, events, expansion of your vegan hotel empire? Not to put you on the spot.
One step at a time. I would say that the next event is that we're hosting our very first Hatha Yoga, Ayurveda, and vegan nutrition retreat. It's going to be from the 29th, thank you, to the 2nd of June. And
what are those dates again?
May. No. May.
Sorry. May 29th to June, to the 2nd of June. Yes.
Oh, okay. So very soon. Okay.
Yeah, it's just in about a week. And it's going to be 100% plant-based experience. It's going to be led by knowledgeable and experienced guides. And it's designed to offer practical tools for physical, emotional, and holistic well-being. We had a wonderful response so far. I think it's something that we will be organizing perhaps every year. We also thought that it's the perfect place to offer those kind of retreats before, but never really started anything. Now, we saw the perfect opportunity, and the response was really positive. So let's see how that goes.
That sounds really terrific. I hope you guys do it more than once.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's the goal.
And is there anything else that you would like to share with potential visitors to entice them to come before we go?
Well, if you're looking for a very beautiful experience in remote Mexico, where beaches and tranquility are the goal, relaxation is what you're looking for, while not worrying for anything in the restaurant. You can eat anything in the restaurant. It's all vegan. It's all plant-based. And we are the spot for you, and we will be very happy to have you here.
That sounds perfect. And I don't know, I have actually one more thing to add for you guys. And I'm not sure if you ever get the time to really look through your reviews, but I was scanning through them before this, and there is a little bit of a theme here. People seem to really like you. And these are some of the really fantastic things people had to say. One word to describe everything: fantastic. It truly exceeded all of our expectations. When you get here, you are away from everything and everyone, and it's magical. Casa Mauna is such a special place with the loveliest owner and staff. So I hope you guys put those on your wall. Think about those when I know things get tough and you have a really bad day.
Oh, thank you so much. It's beautiful for us. It fills our hearts to know that people are enjoying it. And of course, we also consider ourselves incredibly fortunate to have the staff that we have. It's people from the area. They are lovely, very responsible, very caring and loving people. And it's exactly the vibe and the care that we want to put into this project. So thank you so much to everyone wanting to come and spending some time here. We'll be, of course, always more than glad to welcome you and to talk and to get to know you. That's, part of the whole experience. And yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure chatting with you both and learning more about Casa Mauna. And personally, I can't wait to visit you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is all ours, and anytime you're more than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. If you'd also like to learn more about upcoming Veggies Abroad tours or get additional travel help, visit veggiesabroad.com and also join our newsletter. It's the best way to stay up to date with loads of new content, like where to find gorgeous vegan hotels, what to eat in cities around the world, trip planning tips, and so much more. Well, that's all I've got for now. Until next time.